It's January 5th, and this is, of course, the video log that takes 30,000 to a million. Now, today, after I take you through the account and show you all the positions and what I've done yesterday, I want to talk about EPD, or enterprise products. So that's just a stock that I found. It's a little bit better than ET, so I thought I'd share it with you. I don't think I'm going to run through the numbers, but anyway, let's just get started, eh? Here we go. So I'm sitting at 146,171, which is a little bit less than last time, but a lot better than yesterday. As you can see, I'm up about $2,500. And as always, you can follow along the positions on the right. Over here, I have my options. You'll see the ticker symbol, the strike price, whether it's a call or a put, the expiration date, number of contracts, and whether it's a sell or a buy. And on the right is the liability change from. So with all this, you can gather all the information you might need. So I'm going to scroll through it a little bit fast, so you can pause the video at any moment if you want to check out the exact positions. And a lot of the liability has been getting erased from some of these options because oil is having a very good day today, although it's kind of turning down here at the very end of the day. It's about 12:18 right now, so market's about to close in 42 minutes. Here are the positions. O and main, I don't have any call options sold against, so those are legitimate gains. Everything else is kind of questionable, especially energy fuels. I definitely have all that position pre-sold, so I'm not participating in any of these gains really. It's just not showing up over here. Energy transfer though, I am participating quite a bit. So those gains are real. And here is, those are my equity positions. If you noticed, I had quite a bit of a shakeup in the account, and this is EPD over here, or enterprise products. So the way I came up with this is with a stock pick is that I was researching energy transfer and I just stumbled upon enterprise products, and it was touted as a more conservative company that does basically the same thing. So I looked into it, and it just happened to have really good numbers. I'm not going to go into FinViz right now and show you all the numbers, but you can see that it's a fairly large company. Doesn't have too many employees. Its market cap is substantial. It's very widely traded. The analysts, I guess, like it, but the dividends is really good, and the PE ratio is well. These statistics are a little bit weird because these type of companies, the LPs, they're kind of required. They have weird rules, right? Some of them are required to spend or distribute a certain amount of their income through dividends, different type of payments. So the numbers are not going to be like a regular retail company, for example. But anyway, very stable earnings. It's just another company like Energy Transfer where they own a lot of lines and things like that that they get dividend, basically income from. And I ended up selling a bunch of puts. Here's the $19 put expiring on February 5th. So we'll see if I end up buying a lot of these. I sold 9 contracts, so that's $17,000 worth, and it's a pretty big move. But I had a lot of cash, or not a lot of cash, but yeah, let's just say a lot of cash sitting around in the account, and I wanted to put it to work in January here in the new year. And it just so happened that January 1st was kind of a down day, and so I decided, hey, why don't I just go big and sell a bunch of puts? So I just did that into this company, and we'll see how it goes. And also sold some puts against Main Capital, and a couple against Energy Transfer, and a couple against Realty Income. So I'm just trying to accumulate assets with all this excess cash that I've accumulated last year. Now, I don't know about how good of a deal these companies are. They might drop 20-30%, but hopefully, it can survive and try to catch some of that knife and just keep purchasing on the way down, but I'm not even that convinced. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen in the market. And one of the beautiful things that I like about the way I do things is I don't have to know the market in order to make some money. I just have to make sure I'm able to survive, and I just maximize my returns based on my invested capital and based on the current price of the market. So I don't need to be guessing like what the market's going to be 2-3 months from now, unless it's not a huge swing up or down. It's really not going to affect me that much. So I've kind of grown a liking to this process here. But if you want to, okay, fine. Let's do the FinViz of. Oh, this is the stock market map, by the way. And we're going to do the FinViz of the EPD. Oh, Alibaba up 5% today. Maybe they found Jack Ma. He was missing for a while, right? They didn't know what to make out of it. So here it is, and here are the numbers here. I think you can see. Let me see. Yeah, you can see basically. The dividend's 9.23 is the only number we really need to know on the left. And book per share is 11.4. Cash per share is 0.4. Income is 4.5, so P of 9.4. And one thing I really like about this company is all these numbers here. The ROA, ROE, ROI, and all the margins. And also one thing that really stood out to me is that most companies, especially in the oil and gas or real estate and all these kind of limited partnerships and LPs and all these kinds of REITs, they're usually having to draw a lot more on their income in order to make their dividend payments, but the payout ratio of this company is only 86.3%. So I think that's fantastic. I mean, if you can cover your dividend with your income during these times, I think you're doing really, really well. So I think that really stood out and probably what sealed the deal for me on this company. So I don't know, if you like it, research it. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. Of course, none of this is financial advice. Like, you have to do your own due diligence and research. I'm still doing research on this company. Like, I haven't done too much. I've read their 10Q and 10K or whatever, and not very thoroughly, but I've looked at all the numbers and it looks fine to me from the first glance. But I advise, if you're looking into a company, just start reading their reports. I mean, start reading the quarterly reports, read the yearly report, whatever. And if you don't know what you're looking at, just start reading line by line. Just read it from the start, then go all the way to the bottom or whatever. Or just stick to the charts and try to figure out what the terms mean. But I suggest at least getting acquainted with a little bit of, and if you don't like something that shows up on their financial statements, then just move on or try to research and try to figure out why that is. I mean, it's helpful to be a little bit of an analyst and not just blindly believe the market price right away. I mean, you're not going to have an edge unless you're an expert analyst, which I'm not. You're not going to have an edge on the analytical side, but at least you can kind of determine whether or not, what the risk, how risky is this position? Like, how likely is it that this company is going to go to zero? You don't know, like, for example, you can determine how risky it is. Maybe you don't know if it's a good investment or a bad investment from the current price on, but at least maybe you can kind of gather, okay, how much needs to go wrong for this company to go bust, or how much needs to go right for it to have a swing upwards, and how large is that swing going to be, right? Is it going to be 20%, 100%, 1,000% up? Well, like, what's the upside and what's the downside of the company, right? So that's kind of what you're looking at, and what I'm looking for, and what you could be potentially looking for, although you can have your own criterias. But I think it does help to try to get familiarized at least a little bit with what you're buying, and not just buy it blindly, or especially don't buy it because you heard it from somebody on YouTube or one of your friends, or somebody texted it, or Wall Street Bets or something. So those are my thoughts on that. Alright, so I think I'm going to just end it right here. I'll make another video on Thursday night, I'm guessing. This is kind of a rare daytime video, so hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Alright, I'm going to call it right here. Peace out.